Here's another question. What do you think about being telepathic? I very often think of someone, friend or family, and within a few minutes, hours, or a day or two, I will literally get a call, message, or even bump into them. Then I say, how funny, I was literally just thinking of you. And they say the same. Are our subconscious minds speaking to one another before the conscious encounter? I wouldn't call it your subconscious mind. I would call it your higher self. I would call it your Holy Spirit. I would call it your soul. The subconscious mind is a collection of present moment memories that has been placed behind you and has its own subconscious belief. And we can tend to act with that or tend to change that. What you were experiencing when you think of someone and then they show up is a very interesting topic, because when you look at the world, everything is one. Everything is just one. We're all energetically connected. And my sister, when she first read The Secret, she literally, The Secret said, think of someone you haven't talked to in a long time and say, I'm going to hear from them, or I'm going to talk to them. And my sister did that, and she thought of someone she used to hang out with as a teenager. And then within a few days, she had to call a company about a bill or something, and she called up and she said, yeah, this is, and she gave her name, and the lady who answered the phone says, you don't ever call me anymore. And it was her friend from high school. When you think of someone, you are connecting with them. When you focus your attention towards someone, you're connecting to them. When you give positive, loving intention towards someone, they are benefiting from it. When you send negative, harmful things towards someone, they are experiencing that, and in many cases being empowered by that, because they themselves are in those harmful, negative spaces, and it just makes the harmful, negative spaces grow. When someone says to you, I was just thinking of you, they were probably picking up on the fact that your energies were coming closer together. You were coming to this space of truly connecting. I one time was performing at the Maryland Renaissance Festival, and as I walked up out of the show, a man was standing at the top of the aisleway, and I've told this story on a different video. He was standing on top of the aisleway, and he says, John, this is my girlfriend Maria. You know, she wanted to read your tarot cards. It's on her bucket list. I was like, oh, okay. And the second I saw her, I knew she was sick. I knew something was wrong. And we went behind the scenes, and I'm looking at her, and I said, do you mind if I just hold your hand while we do this? And she said, sure. So she's doing cards one-handed, which is a little pain in the butt for me to do that to her, but I did it. So then I'm sitting there, and I'm very aware that my higher self, my spirit, Holy Spirit, I think it means the exact same thing, is hearing her voice. And so I consciously, in my mind, say, are you ready to let this go? And I hear her voice in my mind say, yes, I am. And I said, then pass it to me and I'll pass it on. And I felt this rush of energy from her come right into me, and I felt it go right out the top of my head. She finished her tarot card reading, and it was a fine tarot card reading. And they went on their merry way. So the next week came around, and I was walking up the aisle from that show again, and he was standing there without her at the top of the aisle. He's holding a phone. He says, talk to her. And he hands me the phone. I go, hello? She says, what did you do to me? I said, what do you think I did to you? She says, I think you healed me. I said, then that's what happened. She says, I said, what did you have? She said, well, I've been given 6 weeks to live with cancer, and they can't find cancer in my body now. And I want to back up, because we had a telepathic conversation on the higher self level, on the Holy Spirit level. In that higher self conversation, we talked about letting go of her illness, and it came through and went out. When she said, "What did you do to me?" I said, "What do you think I did to you?" Because I wanted to know what she believed. Because her belief is creative. I believe you healed me. Then that is what happened, is what I said. Because it was all about her experience, but we came together telepathically, and all that happened telepathically. I believe telepathically is just, the Holy Spirit, our Holy Spirits, which is our authentic self, connecting with each other. And I think we can do it all the time. I think we do it all the time. And, I've traveled to 30 countries around the world. I only speak English, and I have communicated in all of them. And it doesn't sound esoteric. It's not a crazy woo-woo thing. People speak through feelings. People speak through gestures and looks. I remember being in Germany, and there's a German woman standing in front of me, and I was traveling with a guy who was the classic ugly American. If you didn't speak English, he talked louder. And if you didn't understand him, he got mad and frustrated and blew you off. And I remember standing behind him and watching this German woman, boom, boom, sorry, I bumped, and watching this German woman literally trying to communicate with him. And him just getting frustrated, and I could see her like feeling bad that she wasn't able to communicate. And I was standing behind him going, and I was justifying it. I was like, don't pay attention. I didn't say this. I'm like, don't pay attention to him. Don't pay attention to him. Because he's just not going to get this, and it's just not going to be good. And so that was in a method. It was a method of telepathic communication. We understood each other. She and I. I didn't speak German. She didn't speak English. But I also didn't hear the thoughts in my head. We were energetically communicating without words. So understand, telepathy is just a part of you connecting with those around you. And I hope that answers your question. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.